Hey there, my name is Przemek. A moment ago, our Polish national team in football or soccer have lost again with Portugal this time. So instead of drinking in misery, I thought it would be good to record some reviews. Today I got two reviews for you, and it's going to be noisier and grittier than usual, because I have two albums that can hardly be called soft or gentle music. It's absolutely not the land of sweetness. And these are those albums: RKK, St. Noizes, and Wet Nurse, Medical Tyranny. And let's begin with this one, RKKK and St. Noizes. This album is actually 3 years old. It was released in 2021, but I got it now. So let's check it out. RKKK, it's a project by Radek Koppel, a Czech noise sculptor who has like 200 different projects, and as befits a noise musician has released probably like 1,000 albums under different names. Honestly, his aliases don't mean anything to me, apart maybe from Napalm. This name rings a bell. I think I have heard some music from Napalm. I think I did. Anyway, St. Noizes looks like this. This is a cover. It's a promo version, so I'm not sure if the final version looks the same, but inside we have something like this. Here is his equipment. Yeah, I know if the final version looks exactly the same, but let's assume it does. The first thing I thought when I put the album into my CD player to look at the time counter was, oh shit, over an hour of noise. How am I going to survive this? But the titles put me in a good mood, noise for girls, noise for boys, noise for kms, noise puzdra, noise pripos, and noistromos for aliens. So I appreciate the sense of humor. And fortunately, it's noise. It's this noise is already in my head. It's not a harsh noise wall. There's always something going on here on this album. It is not. It's also not the kind of extremity that makes your ears bleed, because Radek tends to avoid extremely high or low frequencies or immensely massive monolithic white noise soundscapes. But yes, it is still analog generated noise, harmoniless, melodyless, structureless, transgressive chaos that will irritate most of you, but some of you, but it may offer some listeners a kind of maybe a spiritual purification, because why not? I'm not able to analyze this album in detail. Reviewing noise is something that is beyond my competence. Feedbacks, distortions, hisses, total sonic abstraction and deconstruction of traditional forms of music. That's what noise is about. I think noise fans can check this album and be satisfied, and others, I think open-minded people or those who would like to check what kind of music it is, then sure, why not? It is extreme, but no, it's not the farthest point that can be reached within this genre, I guess. But still, keep that in mind. It is noise, not pretending something to be noise. I don't count how many times I said noise in this review. Will I come back to this album? I don't think so. It's not my cup of tea. But in its genre, it's a solid work. I think, at least that's my opinion. Although an hour is a bit too much. Okay, not the most professional review in the world, I know, but it is music more to be experienced rather than discussed about. Okay, RKKK sent Noizes. And the second one I have for you today is Medical Tyranny by the Canadian duo Wet Nurse. And it's a duo by Paul Kinasevich and John Westerhoff. And it is the first album since the excellent Thanatosis released in 2019 by Malignant Records. And for me personally, Thanatosis is still one of my favorite power electronics death industrial albums ever. And Medical Tyranny was released by Phage Tapes. And this album is a threnody to the victims of austerity. And its main idea is here I have a slight problem with the font. The power to cure and the power to kill are essentially indistinguishable. The lives of humans are no longer safe in the hands of medical professionals. Ascetic edition, black background and letters filled with images of gods, I think. It seems that this album is an expression of extreme disappointment with the Canadian Health Service, its lack of efficiency and its incompetence. I assume that the musicians know what they are talking about. It is hard to me to compare it to the healthcare system in Poland because fortunately I don't have much to do with it. But from what I know in our country, in Poland, it also leaves much to be desired. Every once in a while some scandals come out, corruption, incompetence, like I said. Apparently we're not the only country that have to deal with this problem. Anyway, we have a death industrial here with a touch of power electronics, but it's very gloomy and depressing, and as you can imagine, very intimate in a way, because I think it refers to the personal experiences of one or both musicians. Death industrial and power electronics are often about war, horror, sometimes politics, sometimes religion, sometimes sexual perversions, quite a wide range of topics, depending on the artist. And here we have a kind of fight with the system, but on a very small scale, a fight doomed to failure from the outset. It's like kind of the attitude that if you have to go to the hospital, it's better to find your own way to the morgue, because at least you'll save some time. This is horror taking place in clinically clean rooms, just as clinically clean and precise as this album and its sound. It's like a scalpel. On the other hand, it has a strong emotional impact. The electronic noise texture is always on the foreground, and it sounds as if it could be just one of the components on other power electronics albums, but here the musicians treat it like kind of essentially, which makes it drill into your brain as if it were some neurological procedure performed by unskilled sadists. But also samples of various medical nightmares play an important role here. Those heartless voices of doctors, the screams of people in pain, and sounds which provenance I prefer not to guess, and sometimes also quite an unusual sounds such as choir samples or fragments taken from the works of Arvo Part or Michali Viga, who's the composer for Belatar films, which adds a certain dramatic impact to this album. So this is a story woven from personal experience and a kind of despondency that the system that is supposed to help, in fact, does the exact opposite. That's why I think this record works so well, because it's not some escapist journey, but something that is built on a very down-to-earth anger, disappointment, and sadness. A very evocative album that proves that wet nurse is one of the most interesting phenomena in today's death industrial power electronics scene. Okay, thanks for watching and see you soon.